Hey, Nico. How do you like my lights, Nico?
They look heavenly, George.
How come your Ave Maria sounds so much better than mine?
Catholic upbringing.
Got any ideas?
Let's find the Ouroboros that Pearl mentioned.
I couldn't see anything unusual about it. I hoped this was the right thing to do. Hey, Nico, I found the Ouroboros.
So what now?
Pearl was right. The plaster had covered an Ouroboros. I pushed the Ouroboros, but nothing happened. The medallion matched the Ouroboros in the wall. I pulled the Ouroboros, but it wouldn't budge. It was a radio. I didn't think she'd be interested. It was a recess in the rock with Puritas carved above it. The medallion matched the Ouroboros in the wall. A modern plaster altar had been built against the rock. I'd already found the Ouroboros. There was no need to damage any more of the chapel. Hey, Nico. Got any ideas?
If the Ouroboros represents hidden knowledge, maybe there's something else we need to do before it's revealed.
It was a recess in the rock with Puritas carved above it. That would be pointless. I placed a candle in the recess above which Puritas had been carved. What was that noise? It was a wall of rock. Ex igne puritas. Through fire, purity. I knew it. Another secret passageway.
Amazing, George. How did you do it?
Just another case of the old Stobart magic, I guess, Nico.
Are you scared, George?
Of course not. Just worried about you tripping, that's all. Whoa, this is one dark cave.
It's the door that worries me, George.
Well, I'm sure the door will open again if we give it a minute. No need to panic. Now we panic. Help! I gotta say, Nico, you're pretty calm about this.
Traveling with you, George, I've got used to this kind of thing. If I panicked every time a door shut behind us, probably forever, well...
You're right. What was I thinking? You see if you can get the door open, and I'll go check out the dark, evil-smelling cave. Fumbling around in the dark wasn't going to be fun. But heck, I'd spent a lifetime doing it, so what was new? The wall felt like it had something carved into it. The thing had branches like a tree. I could feel something smooth and spherical with clumps of what felt like fur or hair. It was a small, round object made of fabric with a musty smell. It was cold to the touch and felt like carved rock. It was just my mind playing tricks in the dark. It felt cold and smooth, like worn stone. It felt cold and smooth, with some indentations along the surface. It was a flat surface like stone. I didn't want to use my last match until I For a moment, I imagined falling forever in the dark. But it was just my imagination running wild. The floor was solid. I knew better than to disturb her while she was looking for. I needed a better idea. I had no idea what might be lurking in the darkness. The carved stone felt like the branches of a tree. I needed some light to tell what the carvings were. I needed to save the match. I only had one shot. It wasn't the time to take up extreme blackout sculpture. Tree or not, it was cold to the touch like it was made from stone. Face, arms, it was definitely a statue of some sort. I touched the object again. There was a fingertip-sized hole. I stuck my finger in. It was slightly sticky. That wasn't worth trying. I wondered what that was. The match might have helped, but my guess was it was a hat, but without light I couldn't be sure. The carved stone felt like the branches of... It was stone with a recess in it and, an oily liquid in it. There was some kind of thin twine in the middle of it, too. A large stone bowl with some kind of oily liquid in it. Hey, Nico, I think I found some light. Whoa!
It must be Genan. Ramon said he disappeared while searching the mountains for the tabula.
So this is where he ended up, dead in a cave. Hole in the head dead, decomposing for decades dead. And on closer inspection, I'd even say blown your own brains out dead.
Okay, George, I get the point. What is this place?
Who knows? But look at the Gnostic symbols.
You're right. The colors, the trees. But who is she?
It looks like the Virgin Mary, but I don't think it is.
What do you mean?
The red robes and that whole off-the-shoulder look? It must be Mary Magdalene, of course. Marquez told me that the Gnostics revered her. This place, it's some kind of Gnostic shrine.
There's got to be something to release that door. Maybe amongst these carvings.
But if it was that obvious, don't you think Genan would have found it? Blue paint was peeling from the carved figure. I wondered if it was an image of Lucifer. The carved figure had once been green. I wondered if it was a representation of Jehovah. A large carving of the Tabula Veritatis symbol. All the other figures in the scene seemed to be supplicating themselves to it. A group of figures looked up towards the tabula. They were all colored red. I'd seen something like it before. So the statues on the fireplace mirrored the ritual. Only a true Gnostic would know that. Or someone who had it explained in an old Vatican manuscript taken from a dead priest. The pillar had been carved into the shape of a tree and painted green. I knew it represented the tree of life. The pillar had been sculpted into a tree and then painted blue. I knew it was supposed to be the tree of knowledge. There were ancient scratches on the plinth, as if someone had moved the statue. I'm sure that this is Mary Magdalene.
The red robes. It all makes sense. The Madonna would be wearing blue. So, who's the child?
Well, according to the Gnostic Gospels, when Mary kissed the lips of Jesus, she,
Oh, I see.
Yep.
So the Gnostics think that the suckling child is...
I guess so. I gave the statue a push, and it turned anti-clockwise. Getting up close and personal to Ganon's leathery corpse wasn't pleasant. But we had to figure out how to get out of there. Ganon had certainly been busy before he blew his brains out. I wonder what he'd been up to. I prized the map out from under the arm of the corpse. It looked like Ganon had scrawled some kind of last testament onto this map. My friends, I know that you will eventually find me, but by then it will be too late. I have decoded the tabula, and I know our destiny lies in paradise. The key to the power of God is in our hands. I die secure in the knowledge that you will now be able to complete my work. Tell my family that I died doing my duty, that I surrender my life gladly to the cause. In the light of the day, these words will fade, like our souls. But rest assured that when they do, their echoes will guide us to where we will meet once again. I'm not sure, but it looks like crafty old Ganon left a secret message in his testament. I read Ganon's last words. My friends, I have the key to the power. I die. Tell my in the light of the, but rest assured that when the photograph was of an ancient clay tablet. Ganon had written on it. Someone, presumably Ganon, had taken the time to translate the inscription. At a glance, the inscription seemed to relate to the exploits of someone called the Sun King. The symbol Zhu-Ha was translated as the Young Cities. Ganon had marked this symbol with the letter E. Shi translates as Mountain Kingdom. Gainan had marked this symbol with the letter B. If Gainan's translation is correct, the symbol La Ha Shi represents the Sun City region. Gainan had marked this symbol in red with the letter A. Du A Shi apparently means the Two River region. If Gainan's translation is correct, the symbol La Ji Shi represents the Sunset Mountain. Sounds like a theme park ride. Ex luce veritas. Out of light, truth. I'd seen the same words on the fresco at Castel des Saints. Oil in the bowl of the lamp fed a wick, illuminating the room with a warm glow. The circle of iron was set into an ornate frame that covered the oil lamp. I picked up the old gun. It was too corroded and rusty to ever be fired again. It was an old, rusty pistol. It was a fedora, just like the one in Gainan's trunk back at the Castel. The years hadn't been kind to it. It had to be Gainan, in which case the body had been there for decades. There was a bullet hole in the side of his head. Just like us, he'd been trapped. He'd chosen suicide. Nico!
What?
Is this what I think it is? It must be the Tabula Veritatis.
So Gainan did find it.
It's so small, so innocent looking. Why would Simeon call it evil? Why so many deaths for this?
And why go to such lengths to keep it hidden?
Unless it is as genuinely dangerous as Simeon claimed.
The question now is, what do we do with it?
It was an old water canteen. The contents had long since been drunk. It was an old flashlight. It looked like it died around the same time as Gainan. It was an old flashlight. It was an old rusty pistol. I needed a better idea. I didn't want to burn that. That was never... A large carving of the tabula veritatis symbol. Hey, what are you looking for?
I'm not sure yet, but there has to be some way of opening the door.
Laughing boy over there may beg to differ.
But George, he didn't have a woman's eye for detail.
I gave the statue another shove. Red-robed and bare-chested, the statue was nothing if not striking. The figure had its back to me. Red-robed and bare-chested, the statue was nothing if not striking. The figure was facing the green pillar. Red-robed and bare-chested, the statue was nothing if not striking. The figure was facing straight towards me. That would be point. The ornate lamp warranted a closer look. Ex luce veritas. Out of light, truth. Ex luce veritas. Out of light, truth. The circle of iron was set into an ornate frame that covered the oil lamp. The medallion fitted snugly into the socket. Whoa, would you take a look at that?
The light from the medallion is illuminating this green figure.
This could be our ticket out of here.
If you're right, that explains why Ganem never got out of here. He didn't have the medallion.
I wondered if it was a representation of Jehovah. That was never gonna... That wasn't... The stone door had sealed us in. No way would we have been able to prise it open. Hey. What are you looking for?
I'm not sure yet, but
They were all colored red. I'd seen something like it before. Hey. What are you looking for?
I'm not sure yet.
I gave the statue another shove. The long-dead remains of a person. It was a fedora, just like the one in Gainon's trunk back at the Castel. Ex luce veritas. Out of light, truth. It was an old flashlight. That was ex luce veritas. I wondered if it was an image of Lucifer. I needed a better idea. Red-robed and bare-chested, the statue was nothing if not strong. The figure was facing the blue tree. I wondered if it was an image of Lucifer. I gave the statue another shove. Red-robed and bare-chested, the figure had its back to me. That wasn't... The second passage read, "And all shall know that the light of knowledge is blue, and that the light of life is green. For thus was the light of Eden, both blue and green, intertwined with the light of man to become pure." Knowledge is blue and life is green. I wondered what color was the light of man. The third passage read, "Pure light, white light, pure light will win." So it was written in the old texts, affirmed by the Tabula Veritatis. And these were the accused's last words. Interesting. There was more about light, and somehow the Tabula Veritatis had a connection. Simeon would have known what it all meant, but unfortunately, Simeon was dead. The first passage read, "And thus spoke the accused. In this ritual we find succor. Clad in blue, the perfecti take the form of the spiritual and look towards the rising sun, toward the tree of knowledge. Clad in green, the credentes look the other way, towards the setting sun, where stands the tree of life." I wondered what it all meant. Red-robed and bare-chested, the figure had a... Red-robed and bare-chested, the figure was facing the green pillar. A large carving of the Tabula Veritatis symbol. I wondered if Gainon's notes on the photograph might help me decode the tabula.